Why is it important for companies to practice strategic foresight and think about the future? It's never been more critical. If it's not clear after the last 20 months, it's never been a better time to think about the future. And I know for many, it might seem counterintuitive. After all, we're facing challenge after challenge. But the fact is that the future is not about the future. The future is about the present. And as we act in the present, we are creating certain futures. And while we think about the future, perhaps unconsciously, we need to make that a conscious part of our decision making so that the incremental steps we take today lead us to the future that we wish to create. We have incredible volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity in the environment today. So organizations cannot continue to rely on traditional planning approaches. How can organizations develop and implement a vision for the future? One of the first things I ask my clients to do is to think about what they would do if all constraints were removed. If they could direct what is done, what would they do? Most organizations and executives don't have an answer to this question. And so this is where we begin. Because if you're not sure what your aspiration or what your preferred future is, then how do you know that the decisions you're taking today are going to lead you to that? And so there are tools within strategic foresight that can help you envision a better future. Think provocatively about those ideas. Surround yourself with diverse thinking and individuals that will challenge the status quo. You need to make sure that you have not only resilient, but also adaptive and transformative thinkers involved in the process. Some of the fundamental skills that are involved in practicing strategic foresight are an innate curiosity, the ability to think in simultaneous multiples, because we cannot predict the future. From where we stand today, there's an unlimited number of futures. So good futurists can think about multiple futures at one time. Good futurists welcome differing worldviews and perspectives and are aware of their own biases and assumptions. And then some tools that are involved in strategic foresight. We have a framework called the Natural Foresight Framework, which takes you through several phases: discover, explore, map, and create. Within discover, we're challenging our personal and organizational assumptions about the future. Are there certain things that you believe are constants? Chances are they're not going to be constants into the future. So challenging those perceptions about what is possible is a first step within the strategic foresight process. Then you must explore the external environment. We scan the external environment to find trends, but also the shifting values of society and then the implications of those elements. We can then map them using a futures tool like futures wheels, or using scenarios, which is a very popular modality to map multiple futures and then use that information to weigh our current strategy and develop new thinking and new innovations for the future. Ultimately, the most important thing we can do to implement strategic foresight in our organizations is to ensure that we're developing capacity within our leaders and our employees. It's not enough to hire someone to do this work for you. You must do it yourselves, because ultimately you will not implement the changes that you envision if you don't develop the capacity within your organization to accept and see the future themselves.